Hey, what's up guys? It's Toyhouze here with another video, and today I want to show you guys Desert Strike. I've been having a lot of fun playing this game in StarCraft 2, and I have a build that wins a lot of the time, so I just wanted to share this with you. So basically when the game starts, you immediately make an extractor, and most people really disagree with this, and really will pretty much get mad at you and flame you for this, but I think this works really well if you do it right when the game starts. For a lot of reasons, because I think that it's hard for the enemy team to kill your bunker or photon cannon early on, and so you really want to just get some value out of that cannon. Granted, yes, if you do not control middle, if your units aren't on the other side, you're going to not have that increased mineral income, but you solve that problem by really quickly teching to tier 2. So I don't know why this looks this way, but this is majorly messed up over here. Anyways, so you go tier 2 really fast, and then what you're basically going to do is you haven't even missed a single spawn yet. You're just going to dump out a bunch of muta, and this is working pretty darn well. So really fast muta after you do a really fast extractor. So check this out. I mean, the enemy team really doesn't have anything. They really can't kill that early bunker, and then also going to go ahead and obviously you're not going to win this first fight, but you are holding down middle for your team during that. So you gain a little bit of income, and you're going to see it's just going to get even better. And what I like to do during all this is while your units are in transit, get your upgrades, because you can't make any additional units, and you want to help the field, the units out in the field as much as possible. You're going to want to get these upgrades ASAP. So when it's not close to countdown, I'm just building more mutas, like you'll see here. When we get to 80 minerals here, I'm just gonna make another muta. But now that we're getting closer to units deploying, I'm gonna start focusing my resources on getting these upgrades as fast as possible. So you can see units are moving out. Really don't have enough money for an upgrade, but by the time they reach maybe Black's army, we might have time for an upgrade. So see, getting much better. Mutalisks are scaling really well the more you get. There you go, +2 attack just finished on time, and as you can see here, this is where the tide's really starting to turn. The glaives, you know, it's the +1 attack on the glaive is really more than +1 because it bounces 2 additional times after the first hit. So you're doing tons of damage there. And as you can see, these mutas are now going to start building up and be joining forces with the other teammates. Again, you're also getting that increased income +1 per second by owning enemy territory pretty much. I'm going to speed this up. And see, while I'm out there, I got +2 carapace already. Because, you know, again, while units are in the field, you're going to want to start getting those upgrades. And, you know, oh, one other thing that's important. Once you get those 2 upgrades, your next thing to get priority-wise is another extractor. Again, this is going to probably drive people crazy, but you have an advantage by having these mutalisks. Your opponent really has to respond to them now with widow mines, and you're going to see this. The faster the enemy responds, the harder this is going to be, but it's pretty much the best response. If you're not up against any Terrans, they're going to have a hard time dealing with your army. As you can see here, the Widow Mines are pretty darn good versus Muta. It's really the best response. Once the enemy gets a critical amount of Widow Mines, your Mutalisks will essentially be useless, so you have to keep that in mind. After you get the second extractor built, you're just going to keep making Mutalisks until you're pretty much 2-2 Muta, and then by that point you should be able to take out their cannon if they haven't responded in time. And again, this is like a team game, so if they get Widow Mines, that's taking away from stuff that your teammates should be doing to try to counter the enemy's forces. So, or I guess what I'm trying to say is if they get Widow Mines, your teammates should build something that's good against Widow Mines, because Widow Mines is the obvious counter to Muta, but your teammates are going to be able to carry that extra slack. So, basically, as soon as you can make another extractor, keep making them. Getting that center mineral income. At this point, you have a huge advantage once you have that. A lot of the time I feel like when you kill the forward photon cannon or bunker, the game's already over, because you get a huge advantage, you get that 200 extra minerals. You pretty much have probably been having increased mineral income per second And really at this point, I mean, I'm on 3 extractors. Their photon cannon is down, and I'm upgrading tier 3. Now, the last thing that I would say is really important to mention in this is what do you do once you hit tier 3? You're going to prioritize these upgrades, because right now your whole army is just air units, and it's doing really well. And as you can see, even though like they have the best counter to Mutalisk, which is Widowmine, like the Mutalisks are still doing really great. So you can pretty much see that this strategy is working really well, guys, and I've seen this pretty much work all the time. Like, I think I've won like 9 of the last 10 games I've played with it. So I think if you're looking to like rank up really fast, get a lot of wins under your belt as fast as you can, this is definitely the strategy to go for, especially if you're Zerg. This is an amazing build. Like, look at this army. It's essentially all counter units. It's Marine and Widowmine. I mean, they're not even taking into account other army types, and that's why that's just getting steamrolled over by the Banelings of my teammate. So you see, like, if your teammates are bad, then yes, this might not work, but it's a team game, and your opponent is going to adapt to your playstyle, and some people might not even know to go Widowmine versus you, so there's like an auto win right there. So yeah, that's pretty much what you do. Once you get that 3rd extractor, it's time to start building Broodlords. As you can see, I've got the first one going. What I like to do at this point is just crank out Broodlord after Broodlord until you get a critical mass of about 8 Broodlords. At that point, your opponent's probably going to start responding with some anti-air. You can see here, they've already actually gotten some Phoenixes, which is a good unit. They probably got this to counter the Mutalisks, because Phoenixes aren't that great versus Broodlords, but they get the job done. Ideally, they'd want something more like Void Rays, right? But that's not that great against Mutalisks. And you're going to see some more and more AA from your opponents. And so once you get those 8 Broodlords, see, I'm pretty much keeping track. I only have 3 right now. I can speed this up. But you're going to want to start getting Corruptors right after you get your critical mass of Broodlords, which is, in my opinion, 8. That's the perfect number. You can see here I've gotten a lot of Mutalisks here. This is 8 times, it's 24, 25, 26. I got 26 Mutalisks. You may need more, you may need less. I recommend less because, again, once your opponent reaches a certain critical mass of Widowmines, they're going to be less and less effective. So you don't want to overcommit to Mutalisk. That's something you're going to want to be careful with. Other than that, once you hit those 8 Broodlords, you're going to want to make a lot of Corruptors. And what I like about Corruptors is that you can't really make too many, because your opponent's going to be going AA at some point, and they're really going to want to win the air war. They're going to want air dominance in order to take on your Broodlords, because if they don't have it, I mean, Broodlords really dominate the ground. There's not many things on the ground that can beat a Broodlord. Obviously, if you get a certain number of, you know, maybe Thors or Archons, then yeah, you might beat them, but it's really tough, and they're probably going to take the air route, so make tons and tons of Corruptors from there on out. And what's great about Corruptors is that they can also attack buildings, so once you start cranking out a ton of Corruptors, I'm sure they're going to help you seal the deal with their like corrosion spray, whatever that air to ground ability is, which is pretty awesome. Does pretty darn good damage too. So I'm just going to speed things up here. You can see at this point, like, we've had their side of the map under our control for quite some time. We've been getting additional minerals. If you look at it, I already have 4 gases. My teammates have 2 and 1 respectively. And really, we're really just putting the nail in the coffin here. Mutalisks are really good versus Protoss as well. As you can see, they're still doing really great work. Again, like Terran, I feel like is really the one with the main counter. Even other Zerg players kind of don't have anything really as effective as the Widowmine until tier 3 with the Viper. They have that parasitic cloud that really destroys air units super quickly. So really, if you're not up against any Terran players, this is going to be the most effective strategy. But if you are up against Terran players, just be ready for that Widowmine. I've seen some alterations in this build, but I think this is the best because you went 3/3 upgrades for your air units. You completely skipped making any ground units, so those upgrades got a ton of value. You got tons of value out of your initial photon cannon or bunker by getting that really early gas, and then continuing to get those gases as fast as possible. And then Broodlords are a super high value unit because if they survive your wave, which at some point they're going to just start building up, and your teammates are going to be under your Broodlords supporting them. So as you can see, Archons also are really good versus Mutalisks. It's a good thing that happens, so I can show that to you guys. You're gonna run into these plays where people figure out the counter, but again, like this is a win in my book. I mean, even though you've kind of lost all your Mutalisks and you're not really winning this fight, as long as the Broodlords can hold the ground for your teammate to show up, that's all that matters, because now these Broodlords are getting tons of extra value. As you can see, 4 kills, 3 kills, 6 kills on this guy, 7 kills, and it's just holding the line. You're getting that extra income wave after wave. They're just getting additional value as your teammates come to support. And as you can see, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit more. Really, the enemy team has no chance of coming back. Corruptors are finally in the field, and they're 3-3, so that's an added bonus. You've been upgrading air the whole time, and these Phoenixes are really not that effective versus Corruptors. Now they can give that additional AA support. Really discourages any type of Colossus play from the Protoss. I mean, you've got the Corruptor, you've got the Muta, you've got the Broodlord, you've got the whole air mix. If you still aren't able to take out your opponent with these 3 units, then I would recommend start building in casters. Specifically, you're going to want fungal growths, as you can see. So you're going to want those infestors. Those do really well. And then if you're not going to do infestors, I would recommend Vipers and getting that AA cloud. If you're up against another Zerg that's getting way more Muta, way more Corruptor than you, Vipers are the answer. Frankly, I would get both, and the number I would go for is 8 of each. You really don't want to get more than that, because you start overlapping fungals, you start overlapping abilities, and you start losing some of that value, because it's getting overlapped. But yeah, this is what I've been doing, and I've been finding a ton of success with it. Hope you guys like this. This is I just had to share, because I haven't seen really anyone else online doing this build. And I've been winning like crazy with this, so hopefully we see some people either figure out like the ultimate counter, or see some other Zergs trying out this build. So that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm looking at you. Don't forget. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.